as I walk in Goldsmiths, Birmingham, Bullring, I was offered steel sports watches. I'm not slagging off the people of Birmingham, I'm just saying the centre of Birmingham is a dangerous place. Hello and welcome back to the channel. I have just gotten back from Birmingham and I have filming equipment with me, but I was told don't you dare get a camera out on the streets of Birmingham, Brendan, especially the city centre. And I thought, rubbish. Been to Liverpool, been to Leeds, been to Winslow, been to Trafford Centre, been all over England filming. I've even been to Edinburgh, but I never filmed when I was in Edinburgh because I didn't have a YouTube channel, but I never felt uncomfortable. So I thought, no, stuff that, I'll be fine in Birmingham filming. And I was in a shock jock manner. And what I mean shock jock, I literally got my camera out, shot panoramics and popped it back in again because I felt uneasy in Birmingham. I genuinely did, guys. From the moment I got there, I felt uneasy, and I am not making this up. Overall crime rate in Birmingham city centre is 50% higher than the entire area of Birmingham, and Birmingham is one of the most dangerous places in the United Kingdom. The overall crime rate in the centre of Birmingham is 349.9, I don't know who the 0.9 is, per 1,000 people. And theft offences are 1,785 per year. Now that's recorded theft offences. Let's say I was filming and this phone got nicked. Do you honestly think I would waste my time contacting the police? Absolutely not, because we know unless you're driving through a wrong lane or speeding or committing a motor offence, you will not hear back from the police. It is a fact of life. Without going off track, Birmingham was the first time I genuinely felt uncomfortable. I'm going to backtrack for 2 seconds. I went inside the Bullring and I felt fine. I went on the high street and it was a different world, guys. A different world. Luckily, it was absolutely freezing and some of the crazies were not there. But I can assure you, it has a feeling about it. I went to multiple ADs, Tudor, Rolex, Breitling. Can I just give a shout out to Jamie at Breitling? I also met a subscriber, Paul. Can I give a shout out to Paul? And everybody was nice. I'm not slagging off the people of Birmingham. I'm just saying the centre of Birmingham is a dangerous place. And again, before I went, everybody told me, and this time I listened, I wore my Tudor. So I wasn't wearing my go-to watch, which is my Yachtmaster. I was wearing my new Tudor. And there's a funny story about the Tudor. When I was in the Omega boutique and I kept saying how light all the watches were, and every time I picked up a watch, I was, wow, they're so light and so light. I've forgotten I'm wearing a Tudor, which is like wearing a brick, and any watch felt light compared to my Tudor. Even though I got a extremely light Tudor, it still felt double the weight to any Omega, and I mean any Omega they gave me, I would make. And then I finally dawned on me, you're wearing bloody Tudor, what do you expect? Those of you that are Rolex mad, I have some news for you. It is true. The watch market is dead. Right, Juan? Yeah, it's dead, isn't it? Dead. Juan's been telling me it's dead, and all this time I haven't believed him, but I've seen it by myself in person in Birmingham. I'll tell you the story, but before that I'm going to summarize it. Basically, as I walk in Goldsmiths, Birmingham, Bullring, I was offered steel sports watches. and there was a lot of steals available. A lot in the window, a lot on display. There was that many steel Rolexes I was able to try on: a non-date sub, a date sub, and pretty much any Rolex I wanted. They weren't available to buy, but according to the manager, who was a diamond geezer, me, could have gone on the list for a watch at that store. He was such a nice guy, and he said, that watch, and those watches are available to purchase. He didn't know who I was. He just seemed to like the cut of my jib. The two watches in questions, I said, listen, I don't want them, but I'll tell my subscribers. I didn't use the word subscribers. I used the word friends. I consider you guys my friends. If you dare go into Birmingham and you get as far as the Bullring, you're pretty safe inside there. Head to the Goldsmiths, because they have these watches available as a walk-in. You literally walk in and you can buy these Rolexes, which is unheard of in 2024, 2023, 2022. But in 2025, you can walk in to Goldsmiths in Birmingham Bullring and you can pick up a smooth bezel on oyster steel DJ41, a blue dial, guys. Bernie had a blue dial on his wrist and he didn't buy it. And I like the blue dial, prefer the green. They also had a slate dial, a slate batten. So a blue batten and a slate batten. I will have put the picture up so you'll see. Those watches were available yesterday as a walk-in in Birmingham Bullring. Today is the 8th of February 2025. The manager did say they're there while they're there. In the window there was the usual suspects. There was Explorers, there was Air Kings, there was Explorers too, and I knew that if I went back in and said, you know what, I'd like an Air King, I'm pretty sure I'd have got an Air King on the day. Now I'm going to tell you the story, but I've done this in reverse because people have no patience and they say, Brandy, get to the point of the story. So here is the story. I went in to Goldsmiths in the Birmingham Bullring on a secret mission. I wanted to buy the Tudor Mono, the brother to the Tudor I've just purchased. I call it the Mono. Everybody else calls it the Mono. It's an all black Tudor. Because what I'd like to do long term is I'd like to take that bezel and put it on my new Tudor, the red bezel. I think it'd be fun to swap them around, and I thought it'd be fun to have best of both. Sadly, they didn't have the Mono on the 5-link or the 3-link bracelet. I was there with another YouTuber called UK Watch Nutter, and we tried on quite a few Tudors, and in the end I think it's a Black Bay 54. Gotta tell you, gorgeous watch, very small watch. We all know it's a small watch, but absolutely gorgeous watch. If you're looking for a Tudor for your other half, or you've got a very, very small wrist, I'm talking about a 6-inch wrist, that could be the perfect Tudor. Remember, it's just cost, not Meta certified like the one Brenny bought. If you're not bothered about a watch being -4 to +6 a day on average, that could be the watch for you. Or if you want to buy a gift for your other half and you've got a Tudor, this is not a Tudor, but you've got a Tudor, buy her a Tudor, that could be the perfect watch. I do think one of my subscribers bought that exact watch for his other half before Christmas with discount. But the whole point of me going to the Goldsmiths was to get a discount as well. I was not going to buy that watch at full MSRP. I was going to push and push and push to get the maximum discount, but it never happened. We did what we needed to do and we got ready to leave, and then a very nice gentleman nabbed us, very nice, and he said, do you like Squales? And I went, yeah, I love Squale watches. I used to have a Squale. I had a GMTV, because Brenny, I'm thinking about watches. So we goes all the way upstairs to the jewellery room, and I go, where's the watch? He said, it's jewellery. I said, Squale. He went past Squale. I went, I do apologise. I said, I don't want no jewellery. And my mate's going, I don't want no jewellery either. forgot it's Valentine's Day, didn't I? And we thought it was quite funny. As we're walking down, we went to the Rolex, and he was still with us, laughing and joking. And he figured out that we're both into watches. We were both wearing Tudors at the time, because that's the watch I was told I could get away with, just about get away with wearing in the centre of Birmingham. And I showed him a screenshot of my collection, and he was basically showing me what was available. We tried on a few watches, and he even said this. He asked another colleague, is that new Tudor here? And she said, yes. And then he said, is it available? And she looked at him and said, it's already sold. That manager was so nice, and he must have thought we were proper collectors, which we are. We were this close to buying the latest Tudor, but Brenny piped up. I don't like it anyway. I think it's a silly colour. And that's the truth of it. Even if I had been offered the watch, would have got it on the channel for you to see, but I wouldn't have bought it. No way. I'm not jumping after a gimmick like the Miss Piggy. The best Tudor is the Black Bay 41 red bezel. That was our experience in the Goldsmiths, and you couldn't have had a better experience. And I'm going to take it back. I'm going to now say that Goldsmiths is incredible because of this one experience I had at this one shop in Birmingham. And a friend of mine who was with me, UK Watch Nutter, said he never had treatment like that in the same store because he's been there multiple times. So the wind is shifting. They are being nicer to walk-ins, and everything is now back to normal. Or is it? One last thing you have to factor in, guys, is you're not allowed to film inside a Rolex AD. For Brenny to actually get film content of watches inside a Rolex AD, very dodgy ground. But I managed to do it to show you guys what was available. The watches I was trying on, I didn't take film of. I didn't want to push it. Plus, I have seen a million Datejust 41s, so the idea of filming a blue Datejust 41 on the wrist just doesn't appeal to Brenny. So let's chalk that down to a good experience. But that wasn't the mission. The mission for Brenny was to try and see what discount I could get on a Tudor. Off we trotted to Watches of Switzerland on the high street. One, it was freezing. Two, it was full of maniacs. And as I'm walking down the road filming, my mate's going, put the camera down, put the camera down. And we had one guy literally walk past us, swinging a radio, screaming at the top of his voice. And just to keep it in context, when we finally sat down, we finally spoke to somebody, he said, after 6 o'clock, it's a war zone. I'm not joking. I'm like, oh, okay. But he said, you know, if you keep your head down during the day, come in, come out, you haven't really got a problem. I thought, whoa, what a great place to work. But here's the shocker. So I just said Goldsmiths was amazing. But then Watches of Switzerland was the complete opposite, guys. Watches of Switzerland in Birmingham is a hard pass for Brenny. We went in there, got the welcome to the door, and we walked around. We didn't go for the Rolex section straight away. We went to Hublot's thinking they'll come straight over. We went to Panerai. We went everywhere but to Rolex, and not one person came near us. That's at Watches of Switzerland in the centre of Birmingham. Loads of staff doing nothing. But not interested in serving customers. So we stood in the middle of the shop, waiting, and my friend, UK Watch Nutter, said, Brandon, shall I go and ask that girl over there? And I said, no, let's wait a bit longer. So we went around a bit more. And if you want to check your cameras, Watch of Switzerland, because Brenny doesn't tell lies. And in the end, I said, okay, bugger it, let's stop the girl. So we went to a girl, and she was so busy on her tablet. She interrupted another guy who was actually doing something and made him serve us. But even then, he wanted to finish what he was doing before he dealt with us. Does that make sense? I'm already getting, but Different story when he sat down with us. A lovely guy, can't fault him. I said the same thing I said in the other shop. I'm here to try on the mono. You have one in the window. I made sure they did this time. And I tried on the watch, and I was immediately taken back how ridiculous that particular watch looked on the 5-link bracelet. And I agree with all the people that gave me the feedback. If you're going to buy the mono, the Black Bay 41 mono, you have to buy the 3-link bracelet with those god-awful rivets. But unfortunately for me, they didn't have one. So what you're seeing now is footage of the mono on the 5-link and my one together. And it's still a great looking watch. And maybe you're going to disagree with me. But if you want going to have best of both, and you want two basically the same watches but different color palettes, you want to have the different bracelets so you can switch them out. I said, well, you know, I'm here for the 3-link. It's just a pity you've only got the 5. He said, I can have the 3-link here tomorrow. And I was like, well, I'm not going to be here tomorrow. And he was, okay, fine. And he said, saying, if you buy the watch off me today, I'll give you a £250 voucher, which is basically useless, and a watch winder, that Wolf watch winder up there. And he said, £600 of the stuff with the watch. So I goes, wow, I don't really want all that crap. I'd probably say crap knowing me. I'm still very polite, by the way. I'd rather have discount the watch. He said, fine, I'll give you 9% off the watch. He didn't say 9%, he got a calculator out, worked it out, and I got a calculator out, and he basically offered me about 400 quid off the watch, which is, you know, I thought it was 10%. He said, no, it's 9%. He then said, I could probably push it to 10. Yeah, I could push it to 10, which means I could get the watch for 3.6. So then Brenny pipes up, well, that's a different story, mate. In November, you guys, and I know you guys because I have inside information, we're ringing all your preferred customers, and you guys were offering them 25% off all the standard Tudors on straps and some of them on bracelets, and you're offering 20% off this exact watch just in the run-up to Christmas, even the month of December. And his answer was, well, that's because they had targets to meet and they needed to meet their targets. And I was like, well, yeah. What's changed? And he said, well, that was a special thing, whatever. Now, he never admitted that he did it, and he never admitted that Watches of Switzerland in December 2024 were ringing their clients offering 20% off any Tudor. He never admitted that, so I'm not getting the guy in trouble. But I know it's a fact, and he confirmed that it's just business. And I tried to push it again, and I pushed it again. And then I fessed up. I said, listen, if I really want this watch, I can get it elsewhere at 25% off. I can get £1,000 off this watch. So why would I give you 3,600? And he, like I said, he didn't have the watch, and he said he couldn't go any lower. I can assure you, if he could have gone lower and gone down to the 25% off that they were offering people, or the 20% they were offering people, I would have seriously considered buying that watch. Again, I'm telling you guys to go pre-owned in 2025. So what I'll do now is I will just bide my time. I'll keep watching H&T's website and wait for them to have a mono in stock. And then I'll use the Brenny discount code to get 10% off that watch. That's how I'm going to do it, guys. But that was the mission. So you go to Goldsmiths, same company as Watches of Switzerland, and you have two completely different experiences. Let me just add that when we got up off the table, we walked over to the Rolex section, and we looked and we looked and looked, and again, nobody was interested in us. Two completely different experiences, and you'll have to be the judge of that yourself. I'm going to split this video into two because I spent quite a long time at the boutique, the Omega boutique. I had a wonderful experience with a very knowledgeable gentleman, and I have video of all the latest watches. That's going to be in a part 2 of Birmingham. Listen guys, Brenny is out there keeping it real, and I would just like to say thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and I'll catch you on the next Brenny video.